Peach McINTYRE is phenomenal. And y'all already know that lady got a husband and 9 kids. And many of you guys are brand new to me. I mean, I did gain like 12,000 followers overnight because of this CPS situation. And I know you're wondering, who is this girl and why is CPS showing up at her house? Well, my real name is Peaches McIntyre, but on these internet streets, they call your girl Peach. I am, like I said, a wife and a mom of 9 kids, but I come from the projects, if you haven't noticed already. Actually, I don't have any sob stories, though. I mean, my mom did have 3 children by 3 different men, and she was a teenage mom. And my dad did allegedly have 22 children by 16 different women, and he was also a teenage father. But hey, no sob stories over here. And then there's me with 9 kids by the same man. However, I also was a teenage mom. I had my first child at only 18 years old. Shout out to Gregory McKay. Without him, I wouldn't be who I am today. Now, although I had Gregory McKay at 18 years old and I went on to make a lot of piss poor decisions. I mean, my mom did give me her Section 8 voucher. When I was 21, I was on Section 8 for 5 years. I made my first $1 million in 2015, got off of Section 8, and guess what happened? Life whooped my motherfucking ass. At that time, I lacked accountability. I felt like the world was attacking me always. It was my mother's fault, and it was my dad's fault for being absent, neglectful parents. It wasn't until one day I stumbled upon a live Facebook video of the infamous Love Dorsey, where she said, "Bitch, say I. Say I. You knew the nigga ain't had no car. You let him drive your car anyways. Say I." It was on that same day that I had told a sob story to my cousin, blaming my mother and my father for being absent, neglectful parents. And he said, "It wasn't your mama's fault when you was rich. It wasn't your daddy's fault when you was rich." Boy, did I feel attacked. I remember that day so vividly. I got in the shower and I cried snot booger tears. It hurt so bad. But then, I realized if I am the person who fucked my life up, then I am the person that can fix it. At that moment, I began to refamiliarize myself with one of my first loves, which is writing. I started to write down everything I wanted to have and everything I needed to do to get it. And before I knew it, everything I wrote down came into fruition. But there was only one problem. Although I had started to write down everything that I wanted and everything I needed to do in order to get it, life would knock me in my motherfucking noggin. I felt like God hated me. As a matter of fact, I felt like there was no God. And I went through a period of time in my life where I was atheist. It wasn't until one day a childhood friend and good friend of my husband had got on drugs really, really bad. His mom was dead, and so was his grandmother. My husband would come home and tell me stories about how he was losing his mind. And I would say, "You believe in God, why won't you pray for him?" And my husband would just shrug me off. I eventually did something I hadn't done in so long. I began to pray for him. And it was in that moment that I realized that God had never left me. I, just once again, was making piss poor decisions and lacked accountability. So I needed somebody else to blame. One day, I was up to no good in these streets hustling because I am from Tampa, Florida. And somebody at Wawa, they said, "Baby, why you doing this?" And I said, "Ma'am, I got to pay my bills." She said, "Don't you know that God will send people to pay your bills for you?" I'm like, "Girl, whatever." At this point, I was already battling my feeling with God. And she gave me the exact amount of money I needed for my bills. She said, "See, now what you do moving forward is up to you. God gives you free will." I decided in that moment that I would stop doing what I was doing and focus on YouTube. My son had been telling me for the past 2 years, "Mommy, do YouTube. You can be the next CJ So Cool. You can be a millionaire." Around this time, when I started my YouTube journey, My biological father, the deadbeat daddy that had 20 something kids allegedly from 16 different women, allegedly, told me, baby, don't you know life filled with adversity? Do you know what that means? And I remember crying, no, no, sir. He replied, look it up. And I looked it up, and it changed everything for me. What I learned from that quote, which is a quote I currently live by, is that life is going to give you problems. The man that you love may cheat on you and break your heart. Your children that you birth may get sick. You may end up with 2 children in the hospital at one time. Also, you may have a gambling addiction, and all that hard work you did to get out of the gutter, it might come all crashing down because you can't give up the casino, aka myself. But when those things happen, my takeaway is this: keep going anyways. I hear that in the back of my head daily, and I try to get you all to understand that. I know that I'm not perfect. I do know also I am the best in the world, though. There's nobody better than me. I hope that you all will develop that mindset as well. No matter what problems come your way, aka adversity, I want you to get on your ET shit and cry to keep going. Remember, as Les Brown would say, you're either in a problem, just got out of a problem, or headed to a problem. Your goal in life is to become an exceptional problem solver. And once you become an exceptional problem solver, guess what you get? More problems. Now, problems scare a lot of people. But see me, Peach McIntyre, I am phenomenal. Problems do not scare me. I look forward to them because I know once I solve this problem, I'm going to get like a golden key that's going to unlock the next level in life for me. A lot of people, they don't become exceptional problem solvers. Instead, they stay who I used to be. Someone who blames single motherhood, infidelity, lack of love in childhood for all of their current problems. They show up for their children just how their parents showed up for them instead of pushing through those feelings and becoming phenomenal. Now, for those of you who are listening to me and you're feeling like, I kind of want to change my life. It's simple. The first step to changing your life is to forgive yourself for your past mistakes. Nobody else's forgiveness matters. What matters is your forgiveness of yourself. See, God has already forgiven you for your sins, but have you? Once you forgive yourself for all of your past mistakes, I want you to do something else that's really powerful, which is let go of shame. You see, if you shame the devil by telling the truth and living in your truth, nobody will ever have power over you. They'll start to think that your life is a lie because you just keep going. And the way you keep going is by forgiving yourself and not having shame. Once you do those 2 things, I want you to get a pen and a paper, and I want you to write down the way that you would like your life to look and everything that you could possibly think of in order for you to get it. And when you start doing this, it's going to feel stupid and silly if you've never done it before. But I need you to close your eyes and picture your 8-year-old self. You remember the person who thought that they could be the president or a doctor, a lawyer, before life went to whooping you out of your dreams. I call this picking up a brick and knocking life back in the motherfucking head, because we ain't no punks. I also want you to expect adversity. Bad things are going to happen. You can say you want this new car. You can get the new car. And then when you get on the road, somebody can hit the new car. That does not mean it didn't work. That's just life being life. What I want you to do is try to keep going. That's definitely okay. But keep going. That's the most important part. No matter what life throws your way, keep going. Another thing that you want to start doing if you're not doing it already is to start to affirm yourself positively. See, when you come from where I come from, a place where your own mama call you fat bitches and hoes, dummies and retards, you learn about negative affirmations. A positive affirmation is the opposite, such as Peach McIntyre is phenomenal. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. I know that I'm phenomenal. I know that my children are amazing, wonderful. My daughter, she's gorgeous. Literally, that's her name. Gorgeous. You have to start to walk around this way. Now, po black motherfuckers, they're going to try to tell you, you need to be humble. But humble means that your light is shining too bright and theirs isn't. They have let life whoop them out of their dreams and their hustles. Don't let them trick you. I have literally been tricked out of my shoes by my own family member. So don't let them do that. Instead, you want to be arrogant, cocky, confident. You want to believe in yourself, whether you got $1 in your pocket or pocket lint. That's how you got to be. Now, they're not going to like you for it, but when CPS shows up at your house, I promise you won't be scared and you won't lose your kids. You'll be phenomenal.